Hello, lovies. How are we? On this Sunday, April 27th, 2025, welcome to Nurse Kim's Sunday service. Oh, hi, Loki. How are we? And SB? Oh, hi, Jen. Stop it. Stop it. I can't. It is a web camera. Okay. Living my best life, if you will, one camera at a time. It's a webcam and it makes me feel froggy, almost as if, a webcam girl, but in the most PG version possible. Oh, stop. Hi, Maven. How are you? Okay. So today, somebody wrote on Twitter that they assumed that I would be here for communion. Rude. Very rude of me to not do a Sunday morning service for us. And you were just left for this afternoon 4:30 mass, okay? A service, if you will. But I think that you will be pleasantly surprised, babes, because yes, we are together. Yes, we are always looking for a moment and a place for us to have reflection and to look forward to the upcoming week. And that's what I love, and I'm so thankful for you to come here and to want to hang out with me. And I always want to FaceTime you because you're my best friends from out of town. Now, I do have a prayer that I would like to do, but I will go through all of the things that I have discovered and found in a small rabbit hole. When Nurse Kim says snooping ain't easy, I mean it. I mean it. I'm Snoop on a stoop, babe. I don't know how I go down the rabbit holes I do, and then I'm in court documents. And then where else am I? I'm on the YouTube, then I'm in some Enterprise, which is a local newspaper that I never even heard of. And I'm getting more additional information that is going to rock your socks. I think I might be breaking something during Sunday service today. Okay. Oh, so without further ado, I thought that today's Sunday service would reflect on the lifetime achievement and or legacy of one chief of police, Helena Rafferty. I have questions because earlier this week, it was announced that Chief Rafferty would not be seeking an additional contract from who? The Canton Select Board. Who is on the Canton Select Board? Chris Albert. And who is he? If you are new, he is the brother of Brian Albert, the homeowner at 34 Fairview. He got elected in 2022 or 2023, maybe 2023. And he is a part of the Canton Select Board, which does the entire salaries and for everything of the Canton Police. Feels a little awkward and yucky to me, but I digress because that really doesn't have to do that much with Chief Rafferty, right? So I found out that she is not seeking her another contract. She is going to retire, and she has been with the Canton Police Department it'll be 35 years. And I was like, "Oh, okay. All right, queen. So you're going to get your pension. It's going to be a big pension." Oh, okay. And in the year of our Lord, 2024, Chief Helena Rafferty made $212,000. No, $212,524.54. That's an awful lot of money. And if you want to put that in comparison to anything else, babes, it is 412% more than the average median income of Canton. Let's put that one back on for size. over 400% more than a median household. I don't know if it's household, but a median salary of a Canton resident. Now, and we turn back the hands of time and we think to ourselves, "Oh, well, police chiefs deserve to make money, right? Like they deserve to be paid well because they have to manage all of the police. They have very difficult jobs." But, Canton doesn't really have a lot of crime. And I mean that because as we see with Officer John Okeefe's death in January 29th of 2022, there was not the correct response, in my opinion. There was no, like, securing the crime scene. They utilized red Solo cups and a leaf blower. They put forensic evidence into Stop and Shop paper bags. And before that, a year before, in February of 2021, we know that Sandra Birchmore was found unalive at her apartment, and that they did seem to follow kind of a policy and procedures for that because they turn everything over to Mass State Police. But there are chilling examples of things that are not done appropriately in Canton. And even with the police audit that was just done by Five Guys, Burgers and Fries, they have allowed Chief Rafferty to think like, "Oh, pimping ain't easy." And she's just managing all these boys. And in my brain, guys, I thought to myself, I go, she is the first female chief of police, and she has it hard, right? Like she can't get these wily men in the line. Maybe they're giving her all the shit. But then I found a video, and this video is from when she was sworn in. It was at, where did they get sworn in at? You're gonna lose it. At the Paul Revere Heritage Site in Canton. And Chief Rafferty was Kenny Berkowitz, who was the chief of police until 2022, until she was sworn in. And he has since passed away, God rest his soul. But she worked as the deputy chief for 10 years under him. She was, promoted to that in 2012. And we know that Kenny Berkowitz was the chief of police from 2005 to 2022. So I find this video, and it is of the day that Helena is sworn in, and it is going to rock your socks. So let me show it to you. I don't need to talk about it. Let's be about it. You know what I'm saying? All right. And it skips. It's not my internet, babe. It's the video that is skipping, but it's like Canton Public Television, okay? All right, let's turn back the hands of time to June 14th, 2022.
Rafferty as our town's next chief of police. And I know our District Attorney Mike Morrissey is here, along with the state police investigators assigned to his office, who we work really closely with, and it's great to see you, as well as Representative Bill Galvin. Where are you, Bill? Oh, there you are. Thank you for being here to help us commemorate this night. We also have a number of chiefs, and I know I'm going to leave someone off, so I'm not even going to try, but thank you. If you could all just stand if you're sitting, or give us a wave so we could acknowledge your service to your communities and partnership we have with it. As well as our federal partners that have joined us here from, I know the ATF is here, and I also just want to thank Brian and Higgins and Kate Dowd for being here, and also standing with.
Oh. All right, babes, let's do a little little bit of a roll call and pretend we're the Dedham police that are talking about a juror being at the American Legion in trial 1.0. And let's say, I'm sorry, at Chief Rafferty's swearing in ceremony, there is Michael Morrissey and all the troopers that work at the Norfolk DA's office, including but not limited to who? Oh, Trooper Michael Proctor, Trooper John Fanning, Trooper Yuri Buchanan, Trooper DeChico. I mean, oh, they were all there. Additionally, maybe you heard that Big Neck Daddy Higgins was present. Oh, as a federal partner, they were there. And Chief Berkowitz's comments about Helena Rafferty and about her being his right-hand woman, for the last umpteen years was very telling to me. And there are a lot of people that are saying like, oh, it's just a coincidence that Chief Rafferty is going to be retiring now. And that it has nothing to do with, I don't know, the retrial of Karen Reed, the investigation into the investigation of Canton Police and Mass State Police into the death of Officer John Okeefe, and the mistakes and the negligence and or malfeasance that, in my opinion, was riddled throughout this investigation the entire time. It is shocking to me to know that Chief Rafferty is only going to finish, right? It'll be 3 years because her contract ends on June 14th. And she announces the retirement just the first day on opening statements of retrial, right? So we're like, oh, okay. But Chief Rafferty has had her own problems since 2024 that are not related to Karen Reed or Officer John Okeefe's death. It was broke by Turtle Boy last summer that Chief Rafferty had been in a motor vehicle accident while in her government-issued vehicle in Rentham. And I want you guys to listen to just a little bit of what actually happened that day and what the news reported.
Pedestrian was struck and injured in a Rentham crosswalk. We're learning the driver was Canton Police Chief Helena Rafferty. A police report states the chief was driving down South Street in her town-issued SUV around 6:30 p.m. on February 16th and began to turn onto Creek Street when she hit the 67-year-old man who was wearing a yellow reflective vest and was walking with a cane. Chief Rafferty requested a breathalyzer which showed no trace of alcohol and was issued a civil citation for failing to yield to a pedestrian in a crosswalk. Rafferty explained in a statement, "As I proceeded to make the left turn onto Creek Street, the vehicle lights caught the reflective vest of a person in the crosswalk. I immediately applied my brakes, but unfortunately the car made contact with him, knocking him to the ground." She expressed concern for the victim, whose attorney says he has a long road to recovery. Now, Canton police have been under widespread scrutiny over their handling of the Karen Reed murder case. Because of this, Chief Rafferty says in her statement she wishes she would have come forward about her own incident sooner.
Oh, you wish you would have come forward about your accident sooner, Chief Rafferty. If that doesn't show you, babes, a culture of sweeping things under the rug, I don't know what does. It is alarming to me that the chief of police in Canton, Massachusetts was in Rentham, i.e. no jurisdiction, driving her cruiser, and she struck a 67-year-old male in a crosswalk. How tragic. This man, per reports and per like everything in the news, has undergone multiple surgeries. He's not well. And the fact that Chief Rafferty demanded a breathalyzer test at the scene. Well, I say this, what is good for the goose is good for the gander, Chief Rafferty. And it's very interesting that she wanted that breathalyzer test done right then and there. But that was not afforded to Karen Reed on January 29th, 2022. Karen is taken to Good Samaritan Hospital, we all know, on a Section 12. And she is sitting there and she is literally in a mental health crisis. A urinalysis is taken from Karen. And that urinalysis for a tox screen and her ETOH level comes back and is now used against her in a court of law. I could guarantee you that Chief Helena Rafferty would have not submitted to a blood test at the scene or be sent to the hospital because, I mean, Jesus, if you're not drunk at 6 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening and you're slamming into elderly pedestrians with reflective vests on, then we have a fucking problem. You either need to get your vision checked, okay? Either you need new glasses, babe, or maybe, I don't know, you didn't come up positive for alcohol, but you know that there are narcotics. I'm not like alleging she was on narcotics, but like realistically, something had to have been up, or you were a distracted driver. You shouldn't have just been cited in this and getting away with all of it all over again. That's the culture I'm talking about. The culture of, that they can do whatever they want and that Karen and others are held to a standard that you don't even hold your own peace officers to. And that's what they're supposed to be. In Chief Rafferty's speech of like her taking on and being sworn in as the first woman Canton police chief, she talked about Emmett Till. She discussed that Kunta Kinte in the series Roots moved her deeply, and that she did not believe in racism and sexism, and that she was like this altruistic broad. And yet you weren't. And it's disappointing, in my opinion, that you were the first female chief of police in Canton. And then I looked further because I said, that's weird that she's only doing this for 3 years, right? Like, how long did the other chiefs last in the role, right? Since Canton became a town, there has only been allegedly 14 police chiefs, starting back from the year of our Lord, 1900. 1900. Okay? We've got John Plunkett was from 1900 to 1911. Henry Galligan was from 1911 to 1913. I think he probably got scurvy and died. I don't know. He maybe he looked the wrong way and passed away because it was 1913. Then we had John H. Flood, who was the chief of police from 1913 to 1935. William Whitty from 35 to 49. Joey Cunningham from 49 to 64. John Ruane from 64 to 65. Arthur Fitzgerald, I guess he was sworn in and then he might have got, I don't know, tuberculosis. I don't know what happened to him. But then Dan Kelleher, which is related to who? You know his name. He lives right across the street from Brian Albert. It is Lieutenant Kelleher. And he was the chief of police from 65 to 71. Then Ruane, the second Ruane, John, was from 71 to 76. Then another, Jeremiah Kelleher. Oh, was from 76 to 80. Then Joe Buckley was from 80 to 86. Then another John Ruane. So 3 out of 14 police chiefs had the last name Ruane. From 86 to 95. Then Peter Bright was from 1995 to 2005. And Berkey held it down from 2005 to 2022. So unless there was like pre-vaccination and like, refrigeration in the early 1900s, everyone has been a chief of police for much longer than 3 years. And I have questions. Oh, Darcy says, Tom's camera wasn't working the night Officer Okeefe was beaten outside on the lawn. Oh. Hi, Will. So those were like, that just was weird to me. Then I go and I do like a prior, I do history. I'm a history channel with Nurse Kim today. Through the 1800s, 1870s, and 1880s, the major law was enforced by the department concerned with liquor and drunkenness in Canton. Oh, has much changed since the 1800s? Maybe not. Until 1900, there was no police chief. But in that year, John Plunkett was appointed to the position until 1911 when he retired and Henry S. Galligan became chief. But he lost the job after being convicted of drunkenness in 1912. He was succeeded by John H. Flood, who held the position until his death in 1935. At the time of his appointment, he was operating the town budget of $3,000, and the first police car was purchased by the town in 1917 for $378.21. It is interesting to me that she would choose this specific time. And you know damn right well that the Canton Select Board would have put her in, Coach, for another 3-year contract. She said that the dust needed to settle. But did it? I don't know. I feel like there is change, and change is coming. And in a really shocking twist of events, Chief Rafferty mentioned that in her speech when she was appointed and sworn in. She stated that since she was the number 14, she was number 14 of the chief of police, she ended up Googling. She went home and said, what is symbolism for the number 14? And in her speech, she said it means immense pressure and that she was going to be under immense pressure as the chief. But it also, number 14 also represented change, renewal, and progress. And with that, I say to the residents of Canton, she will be the catalyst for change, for renewal, and for progress. Because she is going to be exposed, I believe. I believe that Chief Rafferty will be called in the upcoming weeks for Karen Reed 2.0. And I think that she should be. Because when you see any interaction on Canton television where they're talking and like they're at a retirement party for Berkey, Mike from the Young Jerks, he played it, he got the footage, and it is abundantly clear, lovies, that Canton, Massachusetts is, we are like the Pilgrims, right? We are the birthplace of America. And yes, names go back and it is what it is. But this quid pro quo that has gone on in that town and the protection of some and persecution of others is more apparent today in 2025 than it was in 1693. Like, it's odd. And they're so ballsy that they get up there and they know it's being recorded for their town, for their, whatever, for their Canton television. And they talk all the shit together. And they're like, yeah, this is the person that I would call to bury the bodies. If you have that rapport and you have that kind of balls on you, a set of brass balls, if you will, it means that you have gotten away with the relationships being so close and never being questioned. It has never been questioned. It's just business as fucking usual in Canton. Amelia Walsh, who are the options for her replacement? I don't know, babe. But I do know that it will be brought up, I believe, in the next Canton Select Board meeting, and it's going to be Johnny Connolly, that big old Michelin man, okay? He is going to put in whoever he would like, whom he would like, because he's going to get the votes. It's not going to be 3-2. It's going to be 5-0 because there's 5 Select Board members. I'm sorry if that was weird. They have 5 Select Board members, including 1/5 of them is Chris Albert. And they'll either get an interim chief or they'll appoint someone for the position and do a contract. It is also interesting to remember, or to just keep a little container in your pocket, right? Put a little nip in your pocket, babe, and get ready because you might need some fucking fireball. That baby Berkey, the little tiny baby Berkey, works for Canton Police Department too. Oh, Sleuthy Goosey, who is the chief? I mean, what are we talking about? Who do you think is going to be chief? Anyone? Kevin? Think Kevin Albert's going to get it? Probably. Oh, I forgot. Connolly is out. Johnny Connolly won't be doing it. Okay. So now you have who is available. It'll be Chris. It'll be not Charlie Duty, but the new girl who wasn't Rita Lombardi. I forget her name. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. You are right, guys. Sorry, my bad. JC is out. Yeah. Well, the new lady, let's hope she makes good changes. But you have to pick someone from the Canton Police Department, so it really doesn't matter if John Conley is out, And I found out that he was actually appointed in March of 1989. Or not appointed, elected rather. And in January of 1989 was when Chief Helena Rafferty joined the force. Wild. In that same speech, it was weird to hear Kenny Berkowitz say that John Connolly had helped Canton through all the trying times and through the ups and the downs, and that, they were so thankful for Conley and him being incredible, allegedly. And with this 1-year contract that will be ending, it just makes you wonder what is coming down the pike, because I think something big is coming. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. And that is what I believe is going to play out interesting, and it's going to play out in front of us. I do not think this is going to be something quiet, babes. This is going to be something that we are going to feel. It's going to be palpable. And I say good luck. Like Jennifer McCabe wished Kerry Roberts on day of testimony, I wish Helena Rafferty good luck on her testimony when that happens. Now, let's move on to a bit of a story that I hadn't talked to you guys about, and it is related to the Commonwealth v. Karen Reed and the death of Officer John Okeefe. I didn't report anything on it when it happened. There was a death of a man in Abington in December of 2024. And immediately when I see the headline that was posted right after Christmas, I go, oh. I said, I'm so sorry. What the fuck did you just say to me? I'm looking at this article, and it is saying that a 43-year-old male was found unresponsive on his lawn, and that he was transported to the hospital. Oh, no, he wasn't transported. I fibbed. He was actually pronounced on the scene. But somebody passing away on a lawn does catch my attention. So I said, oh. And then sure as shit, babes, what happens just a few days later on December 31st? We get a bolo, baby. And a bolo is looking for a blue Hyundai Sonata in connection to the man found unalive in his backyard. And I say, oh, I'm sorry. Now there's a car. What? How is there a car involved with a 43-year-old man found unalive in his backyard? And then there are whispers that he had blunt force trauma to his head. And I teleported. So now let's read a couple of articles that came out about this. We're going to go to the Twitter. And the amount of similarities in the circumstances surrounding the death of 43-year-old Anthony oh gosh, how do I say his last name? Leverone is unbelievable. You will see that, like, the connections you can make and a correlation to his cause of death and how they investigated this alleged crime versus how they treated Karen Reed and the timeline of an investigation that was conducted by the Plymouth DA's office versus the Norfolk DA's office. So let me find it. Hold, please. Oh no, it's in my emails. I lied. Sorry, babes. Let me Leverone. Is this it? Nope, that's the April 12th one because there was just an update in the case too. Oh, you guys hold on tight. This is wild. They're calling it flimsy evidence. Oh, I feel like I've heard that before. And no, that's not it. Okay, I'm going to pull this one up. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, StreamYard, pull this, present, and we're going to read it together. Share screen. Right. Oh, is that it? Yep. Share. And then split. Okay, lovies, ready? On your mark. Abington murder. The defense laments that flimsy DNA evidence against Taunton Quincy brothers. A Brockton District Court judge has held two brothers accused of murdering a 43-year-old Abington accountant without bail Wednesday as their defense attorneys lamented what they called the state's lack of evidence. In the 13 years I've been doing this, I've never seen a homicide case built on such flimsy evidence, defense attorney Brian Kelly told the Enterprise after the hearing's conclusion. It always seems to be people of color in these situations, he said. The only thing I would change about that is women or people of color. But yes, continue, Brian. Abington police arrested Suzito Lopez, 43 years old, of Quincy, and Antonio Lopes, 37, of Taunton, in January in connection to the death of Anthony Leverone, who was found bludgeoned to death in the backyard of his Abington home on December 27th, according to the police. Both brothers pleaded not guilty to the murder charges in connection to Leverone's death and have been held without bail since arrested on January 13th and January 14th. Prosecution says that prosecution says DNA evidence and surveillance footage link brothers to the victim. According to a reporting by WCVB, the Lopes brothers were seen on surveillance video with the victim at Brockton Cafe. It's a bar, babes. At around 2 a.m. on the night of December 27th. Oh. Approximately 17 hours later, the police discovered Leverone dead in his backyard with a large contusion above his left eye and an abrasion to the back of his head. Oh, according to the reporting by WCVB. A propane tank with the victim's blood was, oh, get out of there. Stop with the ads. Or get out of there. Oh, no. Oh, son of a gun. Sorry, guys. I just backed it up. Okay. So then 17 hours later, Leverone dead with a large contusion. Yep, we did that. As a part of the investigation. Oh, this is going to drive me mental. As a part of the investigation, police seized Suzito's Lopez's. Oh my gosh. Okay. Nope, that's not it. Yep, this blue Hyundai Sonata, which was allegedly seen in the area of the incident, according to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office. DNA results from the car indicated two that were a mix of the victim and Antonio Lopez's DNA, the prosecution said. Oh. According to the reporting by WCVB, investigators also found a work glove inside Suzito Lopez's vehicle that matched one found in Leverone's driveway. Many alcohol bottles consistent with bottles found at the scene were also found in Suzito Lopez's home. Abington police and Massachusetts State Police detectives obtained arrest warrants for the two men, and on January 13th, police arrested Suzito Lopez at a home in Brockton. A day after, Antonio Lopes turned himself in to the Abington Police Department. And this is the victim, Anthony Leverone, 43, who was found murdered in his backyard of his residence in December. Always seemed to be, oh, no, okay. Oh, Antonio Lopez's defense attorney, Brian Kelly, argued that that the DNA evidence does not place his client at the scene of the crime. According to Kelly, Leverone had been in a fight earlier in the evening, and the Lopes brothers tried to help break it up, which could account for the traces of the victim's DNA found in the car. Where is the evidence of actual intent, premeditation, or a piece of evidence that demonstrates that my client was the person who committed the offense? Kelly asked it to the court. No. The Antonio Lopes, 37 of Taunton, pleaded not guilty in January, and they've been in jail since. What happens next? Judge Jeffrey Clifford ordered both brothers held without bail Wednesday, pending a probable cause hearing on April 16th. And that is wild. Now, I want to show you guys, I found this, and it was on, I'm going to share. Oh, am I going to do that? Nope. Hold on. I'm going to stop sharing this one. Stop sharing. And I'm going to bring us to X, because I have something in my little mailbox. All right. Okay, nope, get out of there, because this is a wild ride. Prepare. Oh, get out of there. All right. Sharing is caring. Oh. Get it out of that. Sorry, guys. Share, present, share the screen. And then we are splitting. Perfect. I think. Maybe. Possibly not. All right. Now, find it in the, where does my mailbox live? Oh. Oh, here it is. Because it is a press release from the district attorney's office. And you're going to see that this was an actual investigation that was completed. Oh, refresh. Where are you? Okay, let me make this big. All right, lovies. So this was back in when did this get posted? December. Continue to investigate the homicide of Mass State Police. Detectives assigned to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office and Abington Police are continuing their active and ongoing investigation into the murder of a man found dead in Abington. Plymouth County District Attorney Timothy J. Cruz and Abington Police Chief John Bonney have announced. On December 27th at 7:25 p.m., Abington Police received a call requesting that police perform a well-being check on the caller's male relative living at 563 Plymouth Street. Upon arrival, Abington Police and emergency medical personnel located the male unresponsive in the backyard of the residence. Abington fire personnel pronounced the male victim deceased upon the scene. He was identified as 43-year-old Anthony Leverone. Abington Police contacted the Massachusetts State Police Detectives Unit assigned to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office, and an investigation commenced. Preliminarily, it appears that Leverone died of blunt force trauma and high-impact injuries. That's a car, babes. Massachusetts State Police detectives assigned to the Plymouth County District Attorney's Office and Abington Police have conducted the interviews with multiple people, reviewed surveillance video, and executed search warrants on several cell phones as a part of this active investigation. The blue Hyundai Sonata, previously being sought as a part of this investigation, was located from the BOLO and seized in Taunton. The State Office of Chief Medical Examiner will determine the cause and manner of death. The people of interest involved in this active and ongoing investigation were previously acquainted with the victim, Anthony Leverone. Now, Wild. Wild. And here is where it goes off the rails. When in the world would we ever find a case that was, even though different, much different, and I'm not saying that they were not correct. These brothers may absolutely be guilty. They may absolutely be involved in the murder and homicide of Anthony Leverone. But I never thought we would find a day or see a case that had a vehicle, a person found unresponsive in a lawn, going to a bar. There's no eyewitnesses. Nobody saw what happened here. But they have video from like CF McCarthy's. We have the cafe in Brockton from 2 a.m. that saw that they had seen each other. And they do have, I guess, in this one, they have like, a brown stain that could be trace DNA. But if you knew somebody, how could you argue that maybe you gave him a ride sometime and his blood was a small amount was there for another reason? But the most shocking of all is the fact that these brothers were not arrested until January 13th and January 14th, my loves. And when we turn back the hands of time in Commonwealth v. Karen Reed, we see that the same day as Officer John Okeefe is pronounced at 7:50 at Good Samaritan, that Trooper Proctor is already plotting. He's planning. He has called Dighton police and a tow truck before you even interviewed Karen Reed. You get to her parents' house after she has had a mental health emergency, and she hands over her phone and you seize her vehicle. You bring it back where? To Canton Police Department. And then all of a sudden, Kawinky Dink Central, 30 minutes after her vehicle is towed into or driven into the Canton Police Department Sallyport, which it should have never gone to. It should have gone to Mass State Police Barracks like this car was. They didn't take this vehicle that they seized in this other case back to Abington Police Department. They took it to Mass State Police Barracks. And we know that Karen Reed was arrested on February 1st, and she was arraigned in Stoughton District Court on February 2nd. Based on what? The taillight. Because they didn't have Officer John Okeefe's autopsy by then. It was conducted on the 1st. They didn't have any results of said forensic testing from Maureen Hartnett at Mass Crime Lab because that was still being processed. Based on 4 pieces of taillight that weren't even linked to Karen Reed's vehicle, there was enough probable cause somehow to arrest her and charge her on the manslaughter death of Officer John Okeefe. When you conversely see Plymouth County and the district attorney's office and how they took their time methodically, they had seized the vehicle after the BOLO in this case for Anthony Leverone. So the Lopes brothers, I'll refer to them. They didn't get a BOLO out until the 31st. They seized the vehicle, and it still takes Mass State Police and the DA's office an additional 2 weeks till the 13th and the 14th of January to arrest them. So when I and Will and Turtle Boy and Mike and everyone else, when we scream from the rooftops, that there was bias, that there was malfeasance, that there was something fucking not right on January 29th, 2022, as it relates to the investigation into the death of Officer John Okeefe, which he deserved an appropriate investigation. Karen Reed deserved an appropriate investigation to not tramp upon her constitutional rights. And at every turn, we saw fuckery afoot. And you see that in another case that, I mean, when I tell you guys, I said there is no way that this is real. Like this case, I said, no, I have to get more information there. It can't be what my lion eyes are telling me. Because now we have policy and procedure from Mass State Police that was followed, or that was just very differently implemented than the case of Officer John Okeefe. And that's a shame. It should be able to take you that time to review surveillance video and get all the statements which were recorded. All of these things that should have been done. And the Commonwealth supporters will tell you, well, we did the best we could in the circumstances we were given. Nope, wrong answer. Wrong the fuck answer. And it feels like this, in my opinion.
I know something's weird, and now I know it. That's why your whole jug is out. I understand. I thought this was happening. Y'all are running game.
Her jugs are just out because this is what they normally are doing.
Yuck, Jesse. What y'all are doing right now is gross.
You know what I'm saying? And this is where we're at. So now we have an actual correlation that we can say, this isn't apples to oranges. We're not trying to, fit a circle into a square hole or fit a square into a circle. We're not doing that. This is as close of a comparative that you could possibly get. And it's shocking to see the differences. And when we sometimes say, or the Commonwealth supporters may be sick of us saying they literally just pinned it on the girl. Voila fucking la. Here it is. I bestow upon you, when you do not just jump to conclusions and do what you feel is the least path of resistance and or will protect your brothers in blue, and are hiding things, i.e. Sally Port fucking video that has been coming out for 3 years. Shame on Mass State Police. Shame on the Norfolk DA's office. And I pray for, in the name of Officer John Okeefe and for Karen, that Michael Morrissey is held responsible for what he should have been in prosecuting and going forward with this sham. It is shameful. It is embarrassing for the Commonwealth and for all of us taxpayers. I don't live in that county, but still. Thoughts? Oh, I'm so sorry, Levies. Yeah. And Kelly says, if Chloe bit you must have quit, says, I honestly think Proctor is afraid of Brian A. And that's why. Hot take. No Lala says, Nurse Kim, has anyone ever discussed the marks that look like letters by John's head by the wound? No, I've never seen that. I've looked at his autopsy photos, but I've never seen that. Oh, and Polly Pocket's Power Trip says the Commonwealth knows about and looks the other way. Agreed. Oh, Stephen says all these cops covered up the sexual abuse of a 15-year-old girl, Sandra Birchmore. You need to be a creep to get on the force. Ugh. Ugh. And that they were and that they had that program, the Explorers program, Stephen. That parents felt comfortable putting your children, your sons and daughters, into a program with your police that are going to teach them responsibility and, to stay on the right path. And secretly, you're grooming a young woman from age 15, 13, she started the program. And then she ends up unalived when in her first trimester of pregnancy. And the Norfolk DA's Mass State Police, including most notably John Fanning, thought that he'd sit down with Matt and talk to Matt one time, being Matthew Farwell, disgraced former trooper Matthew Farwell. And he said he didn't do it. So duh. He didn't do it. Steve, come on. Don't make it weird that there is the last video surveillance from Sandra Birchmore's apartment complex in Canton, Massachusetts. Shows him going up and leaving, and really in quite a rush. I mean, anyone by the naked eye, you don't need to be an fucking investigator to say, where's he going? Oh, I'm sorry, to Newton Wellesley, because his wife is going to have a baby in the next 12 hours. Oh, God, rest Sandra Birchmore's soul and her baby. Armor of Alessi says, if Proctor deserves any moment of thought in this, take a second to think what it might feel like to be kicked in the face by a certain BA, in my honest opinion. Oh. Who kicked? Well, I don't know what that means, but I am hearing you. And NK, have you discussed the affidavits from AK on X? Yes, I did, babe. I talked about them last night. Or yesterday. Yes, wild. And then I watched his show. And then I talked to Mr. Betterow. You know what I'm saying? He didn't tell me anything. But these are things that I get excited about. Oh. Aiden Carney, Turtle Boy. Gitmo Holiday says, did they check the DNA of Sandra's baby? I do not believe they did. Okay? Which is sus as all hell. Why would you not? Because you had the ability to do, they knew she was pregnant. They knew that why wouldn't you have done a paternity? You can do that at 10 weeks. I believe she was exactly 10 weeks. So that's questionable. But I don't know if they still even, because I'm under the impression that they are not able to exhume Sandra. I believe she may have been cremated. If I'm incorrect, please forgive me, and I will not, I will change that. Oh, stop it. Melanie Gore says, Kerry sent messages to Kate after she got off the stand. Woo-hoo. Oh. BL, there needs to be a shakeup in the ME office. Start there. Now, Lovies, do you recall, because we've had so many shows together, right? But there was a show that I did that I discussed the Office of Chief Medical Examiner and the huge problems in Massachusetts that they have had. They almost lost their accreditation 3 times recently. Not recently, but like in the last 5 years. And they were not conducting their autopsies in an appropriate time frame. They do less than 10% of what the national average is of autopsies in Georgia, in Atlanta and Georgia. They do, I think, 35%, and the Commonwealth only does 26 or 24%. And shockingly, since the pandemic, the OCME, since 2020, the Office of Chief Medical Examiner in Massachusetts has literally done 10% of all autopsies. These are not natural deaths, babe. All autopsies via chart review only. It was also very frightening for me to see that the Office of Chief Medical Examiner has made mistakes, like big mistakes, because in Sandra Birchmore's case, the ME found the fractured hyoid bone, right? So you found that finding, and yet you still marked it as a suicide, which is exactly possible in zero partial weight-bearing end of life. It's not possible. It happens most in strangulation. And she found it and still marked it as a self-checkout. And it's so scary when you see Mass State Police talking like in Commonwealth v. Reed, where Proctor is reaching out to Irene Scorti-Bello and trying to have multiple meetings with her. They presented their entire case to her, and she still wouldn't change the designation to homicide. To this day, Officer John Okeefe's death certificate reads as undetermined in manner of death. And I'll tell you what, there is nothing more frightening than to know that Mass State Police, 99 out of 100 times, is determining manner of death in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Because the OCME is an arm of Mass State Police. There is no independent investigation into deaths. And that's a fucking problem. One of our old a bar association, the president of the bar, had been trying for 40 years to get that to change, to have that change. Because it should be an independent investigation done, in my opinion, and it's done in many states, that a medical examiner's office investigates their own to ensure that manner of death is accurate. Not in Massachusetts. Whatever Mass State Police say, we're writing it down 9 out of 10 times. Wild. Oh, lovies. Oh, my. I just wanted to come on and say hi to you. I just wanted to do this. Oh, and I have a prayer, but let's go through here. And I thought that this was important. I thought that this was something for us to tangibly say, you're not crazy. When people tell you, oh, there are mistakes in investigations, but it wouldn't have changed the outcome. Karen Reed was she's responsible, so she was going to have to pay the price. No. There was no investigation done into the death of Officer John Okeefe. They made the decision that they wanted to, and that she was the easy target. and we were pinning it on the girl. Whether they believed it was going to come up that way or not, it doesn't matter. Had they followed their policies and their procedures, we wouldn't have a leg to stand on. Had Mass State Police done anything to be respectful of Officer John Okeefe's life, we wouldn't have anything to say. Had you gone into the house, searched the house, nothing's there? Cool. Mark it off. But it never happened. You didn't keep a crime scene secure. You just went on your own feelings. And fuck your feelings, to be perfectly frank. And the Goodmans gifted one Nurse Kim non-consensual membership to somebody in the crowd. Sorry, it's Sunday. And you are now part of this absolute shit show. I love ya. And Pamela Curran became a consensual YouTube member. Thank you so much. And Devin says, new to Sunday service. Peace be with you, Kim. And also with you, Devin. We do typically have more of a silly, wacky kind of Sunday, even though it is always goes back to, praying and getting ready for our next week ahead. And we try to just get a grip on what we've gone through this week and what we're looking forward to next week. But this was a specific tone. And when I looked into and found the updated, update on that case for Anthony Leverone, I was like, I have to talk about this. And then Chief Rafferty, I said, oop, there's nothing really silly, goofy, kiki today. It feels very winds of change. And I'm here for it. I will not back down. You will not back down. Hashtag Free Karen Reid. All right. And Midnight Mike, thank you so much. Lovey gifted 5 Nurse Kim non-consensual memberships. Poke around back there. See who the wizard really is. It's me. And then we have a fire on acid. Says, let's get to it. We know why she's retiring. God save the Commonwealth. Ooh. Agreed, Lovey. And AJ's full-throated motion says, love you, Nurse Kim. Beauty, brains, and snark. The whole package. Stop it. Get out of town. I can't. And Chief Sherry said, or Chef Sherry, no, Chief. She only needed 3 years to boost her retirement. Her retirement will be based upon her higher 3-year earnings based on salary. Funny you say that, Chief Sherry, because she didn't have her highest 3 years of earning. And that's weird. I looked them all up, and it's all public record because she is a public servant. So let's talk about Chief Rafferty's last several years. In 2017, she made $169K. In 2018, she made $195K. And here's where it goes off the rails. In 2020, she made $249,000. In 2021, she went down and made less at $237K. And in 2022, she made $157,000. Back up to 212 in 23. And at, I don't know, because her COLA should have gone in, but 2009 in 24. So her actual highest 2 years or highest 3 years for the bump would have been 19, 20, 21. So had she not, and she was already over, she was at 32 years then, she would have had a higher retirement. Wild. in my opinion. Oh, yep. And then we have, oh my gosh, Tracy Walker. Thank you so much, Lovey, for gifting 10 non-consensual Nurse Kim memberships. I appreciate you. That is so generous. And Joelle, thank you for becoming a member. Oh my gosh, guys, stop. This is too kind. Diane G, thank you so much for gifting 10 non-consensual Nurse Kim memberships. Everyone. And you get a membership. And you get a membership. And Kate Peter got a couch. What? Oh, you get a sectional. Maybe we should do like, I'll take someone to Bernie and Phil's if you're good. Quality, comfort, and price. That's nice. Oh, I'm old. And Midnight Mike has been a member for 1 month. Stop it. How many cameras were in that route? Wait, how many cameras were in that route in 2022 fixed? Oh, 2022 fixed. I don't know. How many cameras were in the route? I don't know, darling. I'm so sorry. And thank you so much for giving another 5 Nurse Kim memberships. And Strong Legs 1971 says, I'm from Alabama. I'm laughing how this backwoods prosecution has been brought into the sunlight. Just saying, it's horribly sickening that they would patsy a woman with integrity beyond reproach. Justice for John Okeefe and Karen Reed. I totally agree, Lovey. And they did not think that Karen would fight back. That's the kicker. Is you did not know who you were fucking with. You know what I'm saying? They didn't bet on you. They didn't bet on me. And they didn't bet on Karen Reed and her family. There was zero ability to break her spirit, to break her faith, and to break her family. And I feel as though that's why some of us are drawn, because we know what we see. And there have been people that have tried to make you not talk about it, or to threaten you, or to dox you, or to call the Board of Nursing on you because you have an opinion on a public case. But I'm not going to cower to anyone because I'm not doing anything wrong. And I will stand up and shine the light where I can. I'm nobody. But I don't want Karen to have to do it all by herself. And she doesn't, because she has all of you and us. But you picked the wrong one. And I totally agree. Thank you for being here, Lovey. And Amelia says, hopefully the case will open Pandora's box and they won't be able to put the shit back in the horse. Never. The shit's out of the horse. The shit has been shat. Okay? You got to clean that shit. Someone is going to clean up poop. And it ain't us. Know what I'm saying? Should be a punishment. Poop picker-upper. Agreed. And Norman says, love your take. Does it seem odd to you that Peg would be mad at Karen when she told her she dropped her son, a 45-year-old man, and a cop at a house party with people that claimed to be John's friends? She knew they were trash. Okay. So Norman, come close. Come close to me. I don't like to really speculate on the Okeefe family because that's whatever they think, I respect, right? Because you got to go through your own processes, and you are a family of the victim. Officer John Okeefe should be here today. But I will tell you that it is very, maybe not the best decision that was made by Hank Brennan. He tried to pull a fast one, and he thought that having Mrs. Okeefe get on that stand would be 100% sympathy. And it is. It was great to give a face to Officer Okeefe's mom. She deserved that. But in that same breath, you heard from her own mouth that she asked, not only in the car when Kerry Roberts answers the phone and Karen said, or Peg says, what happened last night? And she goes, I dropped him off at a party. And she says, you just left him there? And then Mr. Okeefe says, that's enough. She's been through enough, which interestingly, that didn't come in through the testimony of Mrs. Okeefe. But for the first time, we hear that when they are in the emergency department, Peggy sees Karen and doesn't say, oh, Karen's there, let me go get her, or like, I don't know, try to see her, do anything, because again, remember, there is no accusation against Karen Reed at 7:50 a.m. or 9 a.m., anytime in the a.m. And Peggy says, what is she doing here? To the nurse. Oh. Also, pretty muffed up, if you ask me. I will say that the nurse who said that Karen was there for a Section 12 or she was there for a psych eval, get ready, babe. You got to hit. Karen, is going to be able to sue Good Samaritan if she wanted to. I don't know why a nurse would ever break that HIPAA violation. You just say she's here. It's absolutely inappropriate for you to give any sort of information on a patient that is being evaluated in your hospital. It doesn't matter if she knows who she is, just because if I walked into a hospital and you were there having a baby and I go, hi, oh my gosh, I don't know your, what else. And you say to me, your nurse says, oh yeah, she's up in room 318. She's 6 centimeters dilated, actually. Do you want to go feel? Like, what are we doing? Especially psychiatrically, very fucked up, in my opinion. And actually, per Massachusetts, per our nursing board. You got problems, lady, whoever was the nurse or gentleman who said it. And I think that there is a lot of questions there. And it is very apparent because in the Christina Rex interview that she did with Paul Okeefe, Paul says what? That when Karen left the house with her family, her brother and her father, that Peggy said, I think she had something to do with it. Paul said, no, we're not going to think that way. And then they went to go look at her vehicle. Oh. Now, again, babes, this is before anyone has ever stated that there was no finding of taillight at 34 Fairview at this point. It is just right now, at the time of Karen being discharged from Good Sam, going to the house, trying to have a very awkward encounter, and she wants to just squeeze Officer Okeefe's little nephew. Meanwhile, she's still not there and she's still suffering. They're suffering. And you feel uncomfortable. You feel it. It's palpable, babe. That she is looking at you like you're no good. And you don't know how to process it at that moment. I wouldn't. I'd be like, get me out of here immediately. Ugh. I'm vomiting. I'm literally vomiting because I'm so nervous. I could just picture it. And I think that sometimes, and especially just with women of certain age in Massachusetts, and of specific just nationalities or family dynamics. Like, you're going to find people that are like, absolutely not. She was a piece of shit. She would have hated Karen no matter what. It wouldn't have mattered. She was going to blame somebody. And Karen was who it needed to be. And maybe what she was told by, I don't know, Jen McCabe when she called her right after Karen left. She's like Texas, said Sandra and her unborn precious baby, Officer John Okeefe's death will not be in vain. Thank you so much, Lovey. I love that. And I keep my prayers on all the time for Sandra Birchmore and for Officer John Okeefe and for Karen and for Enrique and for Justin Root. And it's like we have red pilled this and can never go back to sleep. So until there is justice, equal and fair for all, we're going to just have to keep showing ourselves that we have no quit, right? Keep showing each other. Oh, okay. Yep. All right. We're going to keep doing this. Keep talking about it. Be there for one another and say, like, this is the most despicable, most inhumane shit that you could imagine. And we won't stand for it. Thank you, Lovey. And Sumo says, when lawyers Brennan asks on cross, did you actually do the autopsy yourself or just look at photos? The defense should rebut with your statistics. Yes. Yes. And it's right on the OCME website, babes. You can see it right there. And also, sidebar, they have increased their budget. Oh, the budget? These medical examiners are raking in the money, honey. And they don't even have full caseloads. Irene Scorti-Bello, if you remember, she was a Western Mass Emmy. That's where her office is. She's Worcester, well, not Worcester, wherever the Western Mass is. And she had to cover. And she was on call and had to go down and do Officer John Okeefe's. Or it could have been, had she not been on call. God only knows what the ruling of the manner of death would have been. Things that make you go, And Megan Easton. Oh, hi, Megan. Thank you for being here, love you. And Strong Leg says all of those aforementioned cases is why the federal RICO investigation is ongoing. Ooh. Oh. And crime scene, say anything else? Love and adore you. Thank you for all that you do. I love and adore you right back. And somebody I saw did that, the timeline spoke to me for Kerry Roberts. I posted it on X when she was like, I got it from the timeline. I was like, oh, Trooper Paul says the crime scene spoke to him, and Kerry Roberts knows that the timeline speaks to her. And not that, Dina says your makeup is wicked on point. Share your colors, please. I'm excited to pray with you. Yes, Queen. Hold, please. Hold. I'm going to go get it. Stay right there. Don't move. I'll be right back. She's coming. Coming. Do, 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 do. 'Tis here. Okay. Are you ready, Lovey? So, do not be afraid. Not that Dina. This is a Morphe color palette, okay? And if you just pop this bitch right open, what is she going to show you? She's going to show you earth tones, because that's what I am. I'm a Capricorn. First of her name. And I love these. These make me feel not overwhelmed. And then I do a little of this. Watch this. Right? Like I hit it in the corner, like it's 2005. Don't judge. But doesn't it give you a little brighten? Ooh, brighten up, you little slut. Okay. And guess what? I don't pay. I bought this at the TJ Maxx. Me and Jimmy, we get our makeup at TJ Maxx and or Marshalls. So find this at a Marshalls near you. Thank you, not that Dina. And then we have Mallory Elise says, did you notice that the CW last few witnesses said John's arms were deep scratches? Is he going to say the arm marks are from a coyote or some shit? That's what I was thinking. So smart and pretty you are. Because yeah, and we know that Nuttall, he literally went nuts deep in thinking that the furrows, like he was saying furrows, he doubled down. Okay. Double, tripled down. And I was like, oh, okay. You call them scratches. We know what does not scratch you. A polycarbonate taillight. Thank you. So maybe. And then if you guys saw Jim on the Court TV interview, he's a resident of Canton. He lives like off of or on on Fairview Road, and he's been there for 40 years. He goes, yeah, I know Chloe. I want to ask Jim. I'm going to call Jim, ask him if he has time to come on Nurse Kim and Jim, and we could talk all the shit. I want to know, good sir, do you see a coyote? Because there was a coyote at my Uncle Brian's house up in Laura Lane in Waltham. Swear to God, it happened. So they can be. And Fluorescent says, thank you so much, Kim, for all you do. You've brought some amazing intelligence, humor, and light to the scene. Your sense of humor and wit is legit top tier. Thank you for keeping us tethered to reality. Oh, Fluorescent, stop. Oh my gosh. I am not worthy, okay? I am not worthy to receive you, but only say the word and I shall be healed. Look at us together at Sunday service, and you're being too kind. I'm just a Kim, okay? I'm just a Kim, and you are my best friends from out of town. And I thank you every day for like showing up and saying, oh, I don't mind hearing her, okay? Because she's annoying. It's an annoying voice. It is odd and off-putting at times, but I deeply care. And I use the brain, I put it to good use, babe. And then it takes me places and I go, oh, is this normal? Oh, maybe not, but I get there. I appreciate you. And the purple one says, OJO was working sex crimes, yes. What if they unalived him because he learned the truth about SB and one of those sickos that was involved? The purple one, I hear you. That is something that I've always wondered just about as it related to this, the sex crimes cases. And, is there anything to that? I have not seen it, so I can't be like, yeah, oh, definitely. But I would hope that there was investigation by the federal investigation into that. Like, is there a connection? I would not say that it seems unplausible to me. And Diane G says, if anyone on that jury has a bitchy mother-in-law, they must be sympathetic to Karen after Mrs. Okeefe's testimony, plus ID clip of Karen. I agree. And I think that it was terrible that Judge Cannoni allowed that in because it was only as a character assassination of Karen Reed. That was not consciousness of guilt. Also, Hank, I'm going to need you to say it 3 times in your bathroom, babe, before you end up at Norfolk Superior Court. Because you said consciousness of guilt. How many times? It's consciousness. I know. I also have an accent. It's difficult. It sounds like I have marbles in my mouth some days. But practice. You're a mob lawyer, for God's sakes. Get a haircut. And Meatball Morrissey Scatty Stain says, hey, Nurse K, NK, if we're really good, can we go to the pit at Bob's? We don't need anything new. I'm just a big fan of the clearance section. Oh my gosh, the pit. Are you shitting me? How many times have I gone to the pit? Well, did I go to the pit? When they had like the best deals. I would come home with end tables, with lamps. I didn't need a lamp. Stop it. Put it back. Can't do it. If you're telling me there's a deep discount of 70%, I'm taking it. I'm taking it. I don't look at me. Don't make it weird. It's mine. Thank you. Yes, we're going to the pit. And Lupe Hinke has become a new YouTube member. Thank you so much, Lupe. And Sheila Silva, the cop said it. Oh, the cop said it. And Amelia says, I think a few women tried to get John to settle down. Kerry and a girl in the front row. They all hated Karen because she was so good for him and the kids. Yes, and we would know that because even even Paul said that, right? He said, I respected Karen so much before January 29th, 2022. She was an incredible example and a good influence on my brother and the kids. Need we say more? And Strong Leg 1971 says the text showed John was wishy-washy about the relationship and Karen was proactive. I believe after rewatching P.O.'s testimony, I think John's reservations towards KR was his loyalty to his mom. I've been in the situation. Wow. That's a hot take. And I will say, though, I look at the text messages in 2.0 different than I did in 1.0. Don't you guys? Like, don't you seriously look at them and seeing them in context? I don't know why it felt like there was more. And I'm seeing it, and all I can hear, and I know just from dealing with Massachusetts cops, all of my family, all of them, my dad, my uncles, my cousins, my grandfather, everybody. I know that behavior of like, maybe there was something that was done to you, and I just have my whole entire life. If they say they're sorry one time, that's it. You're never going to get anything else. Karen was still in a newer, like not newer, but like 2 years in. And that same morning, it wasn't like they just had a verbal altercation, guys. Remember, I think it probably, and I don't know this because I've never spoken to Karen about it, but like, you know, you're doing the best that you can to fit in and to be good to your partner's children. And yet at every turn, you're not doing something that he wanted. And then that morning, you get smashed in the face with a pillow. I know it's just a pillow, but don't put your hands on me. Don't throw things at me. I need you to take accountability for that. Like, hey, not cool. I need you to tell me that we're good, or do you want to do this, or do you not want to do this anymore? And it was interesting to see like Officer John Okeefe decline her calls, reject her, and then make comments about, oh, who is this plumber? Is he hot? Hope you have a good time. Go and get a drink, Karen. And it's like, oh, you know, and then I'm depending on you for a ride and no one's going anywhere this weekend. So in my opinion, and with any cop and any police officer that I know and love dearly, I could bend until I break. And they are very my way or the highway. And especially specific aged, maybe young police officers, maybe not be, but I don't know. And my Sue, thank you so much, says my biggest problem with Peg is she said KR and Dad were upstairs for 10 to 15 minutes while there was no other interaction between them. Yet she knows from testimony that they were there for close to an hour. Yeah, I think that was on purpose, right? And it was and it was also said, like, I should have never let them go upstairs. Oh. Oh, you know? And not that, Dina. Thank you so much, Lovey. Thank you. If I see you, are you going next week? I'll check my local TJ Maxx for you. And if they have one, I got you. And my Maddie Wags said, "You are so worthy. Thank God we have you. You're the smartest and the prettiest of all." Stop it, Maddie Wags. You are. Stop. Hey, look at that hair is right from Revere, huh? I'm a Waltham girl, but it feels like my mother was going for Revere at the Carousel School. Oh, and Dennis the Menace says, Peg never liked Karen. She is a witch with an itch. I hear you. And Norman says, would have called the scratches if they were on his arm. I don't think so. What a clown. We have a couple of clowns everywhere, Norman. And Shelly says, I'm in Waltham and they walk. Oh, wait. I'm in Waltham and they walk down Moody Street. Oh. Armor of Alessi says, 25 years ago, a nurse told me that my pregnancy test negative, heartbroken, in front of a room full of a waiting room. 1.5 hours later, the L&D nurse knew a coworker of mine and gave me a play-by-play of my labor and delivery to my work, both fired. That's terrible. Like, just shut your mouth. I'm so sorry, Armor of Alessi. That, and I think that sometimes it's like never meaning to be, a negative intent with it, but your intention doesn't matter. You don't have a right. It is not your information, and your medical history and information is private. It is protected. It is protected health information. And I'm very sorry that you had to go through that. And Jojo says, here's my offering to the Wi-Fi gods for lovely Nurse Kim. May your name be painted on a suspiciously placed rock. Oh, okay. I'm going to place my name on a suspiciously placed, I don't even know what. Maybe mine would come in a Diet Coke can and I'd put it in a recycling bin because I'm not an asshole like some people we know. But I appreciate you, and the Wi-Fi gods will be working with me. We have a guy. He's coming on Tuesday. Can you hold on? Hold on for one more day. Well, 2 more days. Keep your day job, Kim. And Emily says, please go look at Krusty's new article today. Also, TB has new tweets, and they will make you black out by what Kate did to the witness. Lock her up. I will go look. I will. I don't know about what she did to her. I saw that they said something about she had a different name, but I'm going to hope that that there is a response that we get moving forward. And I know that Mr. Betterow and Mr. Bradle, attorney Betterow and Bradle, are very capable and will muff them up if need be. But thank you so much, Emily C. And Armor of Alessi, thank you so much. Proud little lovies, love you. And I love you. And so do I love Random Girl. You are so deserving of all the compliments, Lovey. Oh my gosh, babes, we're having such a Sunday. Yeah, but what is sorry, Sumo. What is Peg implicating that they were doing downstairs around them for the other 45 minutes if Karen was eating cheese from the fridge? Yeah. I wonder, will Paul be called? Or would maybe Nathan or Mr. Reed be called? Because they would be able to answer to that. Just saying. I wonder what other testimony would be able to go to what happened at that time. Or, Sumo, will it matter? Does that have anything to do with what the jury would consider regarding counts 1 through 3? I don't know. Do you put emphasis on it, or do you say, all right, I'm going to have to let that one go even though it's incorrect? It was not truthful of what happened. It's not accurate. But do you let it go? I don't know. And lesser nurses make me admire you so much. I love your face. I love you too, Armor Valessi. You're so kind. And Catherine Hodge says, howling wind at science. Nope. Howling wind at scene. Kim's hair, 100% still. Oh, Karen's hair, 100% still. Wait, howling wind at scene. Karen's hair, 100% still. Yes, it was howling wind. And Darlene says, Ms. Kim, new here, and you are darling. I'm contracted to work in Worcester in 2 weeks and hoping to meet some fellow FKR supporters. Maybe you'll be one of them. Yes. I love that. Are you a nursing contract? Don't tell me. Well, tell me, but don't tell me where. And absolutely. I can't believe you're going to be up here. And Worcester is only about 45 from me, 45 minutes. So, shall there be the meetups? And just to kind of say hello, maybe have some pizza. Let's have some pizza because I love a good carbohydrate. If anyone wants to meet me at a Papa Gino's of your choice, no, just kidding. I would love it. And Holly says, I hope your Wi-Fi guy is hot. Me too. Oh my gosh. Mr. Nurse Kim wouldn't like that. But it's always kind to have somebody who is just like, oh, tell me things about gigaworts or gigabytes or whatever is happening in the World Wide Web. Okay. Whatever's staying in my computer, just make the speed faster. I think of it traveling like there was a movie, and I can't think about it right now, but it was like, oh, Mia or Liv, is anyone here? No one's answering me. What was that movie that they were in the video game? And I think of them like going through the wires, and that's the Wi-Fi. And I have the slow one. I got the slow Wi-Fi. I got a slow car in Mario Kart, and I've got to figure it out. Okay. I'm upgrading King Koopa, bitch. Can't tell me anything. Okay. And with that being said, I love everything about your faces. We will say our Sunday service together. Why? Because we love one another and we care. And this is specifically a Sunday prayer for the warriors that you are and for what we are hoping and what we are putting forward in our energy for this week. Sunday prayer. Name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Dear God, thank you for blessing us with this beautiful Sunday. I come before you with a grateful heart, thanking you for your presence throughout the past week and for giving me the faith to embrace a new beginning. I pray that my heart grows closer to you, walking with you always, so I can face and overcome all the challenges before me. Please remind me to worship you, not only during Sunday services, but also in daily prayers and in every moment of my life, building a close relationship with you. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Tiny Jesus, I bid you and all of us adieu. Peace be with you, my lovies. Thank you for joining me for Sunday service. And I'm going to Auntie Deb's house tonight at 9:00. And we're going to do a Beyonce My Name interview, finally. Number 18. I, Nurse Kim, shall be interviewed. I'll talk to you tomorrow, lovies. Bye.